see all the notes here. I'm just going to turn off all the effects and show you how it was made from the ground up. Okay, and I'm just going to turn down the volume because it's going to be really loud without all the filtering. Alright, so when you start out, the synth is originally set up with this sort of routing. So if you click on this tab, we just want to set it to parallel, and that means that all of these oscillators are going to get routed straight out to the filter. They're not going to be affecting each other. In the original routing, they're doing something called FM, which is controlling the frequency of each oscillator below it using the frequency of the oscillator above it. So we just want to route it out parallel and set the voices to 1 so that it's a mono synth, and that's so that the release tails don't wash over each other. Okay, and then the envelope is got an 8 millisecond attack, just so it's a bit of a longer attack, it's not so sudden. And then we're going to be adding in some white noise. So here we add white noise, and the envelope doesn't change at all. We bring in the level at -19. Alright, next up we want the LFO to give it that nice wobbling sound. And so you need to just switch this on, make sure it's set to sine wave, and retrigger is on because we want it to sound the same each time. It'll tend to sound slightly different each time it plays if you don't retrigger the LFO. Alright, and then set the rate to 122 and the amount to 75%. So originally you'll see it's probably routed to the filter, and we don't want the filter to be being modulated by the LFO. What we want is the amplitude, and to control the amplitude or the volume, you go to destination B here and set this to volume and set this amount to 100% here, and then you get that wobbling sound. I don't know what to call it, like tremolo kind of effect. Alright, and then we go into filter, and that's just to take out some of the high end, and we want just the start of the sound to be bright, and that's why it's a really short, snappy envelope. The attack's at 1.9 milliseconds and decay at 80 milliseconds. So you can hear the beginning of the sound's got this like brightness, the first few milliseconds, and then it gets a bit darker. Just going to turn this back up a bit. Alright, and then we go into a pitch envelope, and the pitch envelope's just helping the attack of the sound get a bit more of a punch to it. I can exaggerate it so you can hear it more. Okay, and to set this up, we're basically using a negative envelope. So we have the peak set to -8 and the decay set to 40 milliseconds. Originally, when you set this up, it'll look something like this and sound like this. So we want to make this a negative envelope. And then dial in the decay to where it's just creating a bit of punch. We're not really hearing the pitch. Something like that. Okay, and then, yeah, that's it. So next we're going into EQ8, and that's just cutting out some low end. Then we're saturating the sound with 10 dB of drive and reducing the output by -8. And that will add some low end back in, so you can see that here. So we just need to take out that rumble again, and then we're adding some reverb. And that's it for this entire sound. Thanks for watching, I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.